What up, what up? Man, Jace, once again, you're bringing it. It kind of reminds me of the video on MMA and boxing that Karsten did a while back, regarding the Manny Pacquiao fight versus Ricky Hatton. Not much more I could say to, not much more I can add to what you said. Um, you're always very respectful, just very insightful and just very calm and even when you do these things. And like I said, mixed martial arts and boxing, those are just two things that are just going to inevitably be linked because even though they are different sports, as you said, boxing is a part of MMA. It is an aspect, so it's always going to be there for comparisons and this and that. It's not always fair because I think boxing at the highest level. I mean, boxing has been around for like what? Slightly, probably over a little bit over a century, if that, if not more. And MMA has been around in its current incarnation for like 15 years. You're talking about a firmly established sport, something that's ingrained into the American culture, against something that's just right now breaking into mainstream, just in its infantile stages. I mean, who knows where MMA will be in the next 85 years? Whenever it's like where boxing is right now. Hopefully it won't be as corrupt. Hopefully, it'll be, similar to where it is now, only growing and better than, you know. Like you, I think before MMA, this boxing was basically the combat sport. It's basically when you wanted to see a fight, that was a boxing match. Boxers, that was the baddest man on the planet, the heavyweight champion. The Mike Tysons, the Lennox Lewises, Ali's, Pernell Whitakers, Antonio Barreras, Julio Cesars, Trinidad's, De La Hoya's. I can go on and on. It's just a very rich history of great warriors and great fighters. How does that compare with mixed martial arts? I think MMA has taken a lot of criticism. I think off the boxing fans have got a lot of bragging rights from the Tim Sylvia, Ray Mercer debacle. But it just shows. I mean, how long has Ray Mercer been fighting? Probably since he was 5. Who knows? Forever, And that's the thing. Boxing, kids have known about boxing for a long time. That's just when it goes back to the history of boxing. Kids at an early age start doing this. Mixed martial arts or something. I think a lot of guys have been starting at the mid-20s, maybe early 30s or something. I'm just now training, and I'm almost 30. Ugh, God damn it. But anyway, you got a kid that's been training since he was 12, doing the shoulder rolls, and just learning how to punch since he was a youngster. That's hard to contend with. I mean, that's why wrestlers in MMA are so hard to deal with, because they've been doing their discipline a lot longer than a lot of other guys in America. Boxing and wrestling are just basically the two ancient sports, associated with our country. MMA, of course, takes a lot of criticism because of perceived brutality involved with it. It's a very violent sport. However, I think, as I referenced earlier with Carson's video, when I saw the Manny Pacquiao fight, versus was it Ricky Hatton? I saw that like a couple days after, and I gotta say, Manny Pacquiao's technique and his power and precision, that was just a beautiful thing to watch. I still watch a little bit of boxing, but a lot of it is not to the level of that. It can be kind of sloppy or something. Mostly, with uncoordinated heavyweights, just swinging at each other. But when you watch a guy like Manny Pacquiao, that just really shows how dangerous and brilliant a boxer can really be. At the same time, it also proved to me, so I've watched wrestling probably all my life. My father watched it. My grandfather watches it. It's just been, it's a tradition in American culture. But after watching MMA, it just really showed me just how dangerous and how barbaric boxing is, even compared to mixed martial arts. I mean, when you see someone get rocked really hard in an MMA fight or something, that's usually it. They follow the guy to the ground and is finished shortly thereafter. The referee's on top of that. A guy gets hurt really bad in boxing, there's a standing 8 count. I remember like Ricky Hatton was like got knocked down or something for the last time in the second round when he got clocked really hard. And I heard the commentator, "Can Ricky Hatton get up from this?" I'm screaming at TV, "No! What are you doing?" I mean, it's like you get in a car accident or something, and you think a paramedic gets over, "Okay, I'll help you in 1, 2, 3." What? That's exactly, I mean, boxing is crazy. It's a great sport. As they say, it's the sweet science. But, it's like it's very boxers, very dangerous with their hands. However, I think in a fight or something, I think probably it's a technique or something, a world class with all the same variables or something. A guy who's been boxing since he was 12 against a guy who was, training MMA since they were 12. We don't have too many 12-year-olds getting into the sport right now because it's still, like I said, they're not much older than the sport's not much older than your average kid. It's only 15, But when I'm starting to see the sport grow or something to the point where, you got kids like, John Jones, he's just 21 or something. He's just really starting out. He has his wrestling background, but I think that's where MMA is really heading right now. You got like where the athletes are starting to come into it at an earlier age, and that's what makes MMA so great. I think that's going to be the real growing point, the sticking point for the growth of the sport. There you go, I got it. No recuts this time. But anyway, back to the original point. I think as a discipline, MMA probably would have the advantage or something if all things were considered equal, experience level, training points, and just work at diligently. Boxing is a great, you don't want to get punched by a boxer at any point in your life, but at the same time, it's like that's only one aspect. When you start throwing takedowns and kicks into it, it becomes severely limited. However, an MMA fighter, as shown by the Tim Sylvia fight and everything, they want no part of a boxer's world. They haven't been training as long. It's completely different from the striking they know. Sure, you may know how to box, but this is not sparring. These guys can thump. These guys are brilliant at what a boxer. I think like probably Boss Rutan said, not sure if they're the best fighters in the world, but they are the best boxers in the world. MMA fighter just can't transition to that. You can't just stop what you're doing because you haven't been doing it long enough. You don't know what it's all about. But they're both great sports. They're both two different sports, and I believe they should be appreciated as individuals, I don't think there should be any animosity. Sure, I think it's barbaric, but I think what Manny Pacquiao did was beautiful. I mean, I think it's dangerous. Both sports are, inherently violent and everything, but I think they're both great sports. Fans of one, I mean, I enjoy both. I appreciate both. I'm more of an MMA fan now than I am a boxing fan, but, it's like, I don't think there should, I see so many people like going off on it or something. Just because I like MMA doesn't mean I can't enjoy every other sport, except soccer. Not there yet. But big shout outs to all my Brazilian folks. I'm getting there. I'm learning. And I'll talk. But anyway, that's basically all I have to say about it. Chase, you're doing a great job. So is Carson, all y'all. Appreciate the support. Thanks to all my subscribers once again. And I'll be back at y'all hopefully probably a little bit this weekend or something. Probably a little bit. Whatever. I'll probably be back to review the UFC 101 card. Then thanks again. See you later.